Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations. We're here at the start of the first game, and in a very shocking turn of events, this is a flashback. We're playing as Mia Fey in her second day of court ever. Well, not second day, but her second time in court. This is her second case ever, and wouldn't you know it, her defendant is one Phoenix Wright, who is young and adorable. He's like an entirely different person compared to what the Phoenix we know. Anywho, Phoenix is on trial for apparently killing someone, whose autopsy report says he died of a fatal electric shock, and also the crime photo just shows a big ol' severed electrical wire, so I don't even know why this is a trial. I mean, Phoenix did push him, but surely Phoenix did not know there was a live freaking wire that would be about to swing down. Anyway, let's continue to cross-examine him. That guy, he was talking bad about Dolly. I lost my temper and gave him a shove. At that moment, I heard some kind of loud noise. A little while after I left, I started to get worried. So I went back. But he was just lying there, dead. Well, that explanation is really quite simple. When you pushed him, Mr. Swallow flew back and touched the electrical cable. He died from the shock, and that, as they say, is that. A simple explanation indeed. At the time of the incident, a light rain had been falling. Wet from the rain, the victim was more easily electrocuted. But when I pushed him, there weren't any electrical cables nearby. If there had been something like that, even I would have noticed it. That's true. Even a doofus like him couldn't miss that. Miss Fey, let me warn you right now that if your cross-examination doesn't yield any new facts, I intend to deliver my verdict without further delay. Are we clear on that? Yes, Your Honor. Wow. This guy's had it out for Phoenix since day one. Since day zero. Don't give up, Mia. If he is innocent, there must be some kind of evidence somewhere that will prove it. Alright. That guy, he was talking bad about Dolly. That would be Dahlia Hawthorne, who is suddenly the most interesting character in the world to me. So what kind of things did Mr. Swallow say to you? He said all sorts of terrible things about Dolly. He said that she was a bad girl. Is that all? Yep. Well, Miss Fey, you heard him yourself. Oh boy, you're not doing yourself any favors here, Mr. Wright. Please don't make this harder for me than it already is. Anyway, after you said that, I lost my temper and gave him a shove. Can you tell me about what happened in a little more detail? That guy, he just said what he wanted to say to me, and then he put on the jacket he was holding and started to leave. That's when I lost my temper and flew into a furious frenzy. Give him the big push. I just gave him a light, gentle shove to the chest. And when you did that, there was no severed cable anywhere to be seen. Right, there was nothing like that at all. But is it possible that you merely overlooked it? Well, I guess it's possible. What are you doing? Don't let that guy steamroll over you like cheap asphalt. I believe what's important here is the moment the push occurred. Let's continue on with the testimony, witness. that moment, I heard some kind of loud noise. A loud noise? And what would you say that loud noise was, Mr. Wright? I'm not sure, but it was really loud. It was like, snap! You know, come to think of it, I wonder what that was.
Clearly, Your Honor, it was the sound of the victim being electrocuted.
You're not qualified to decide that. What should I do? I'm treading on some dangerous ground here. Well, the more information we have, the better. Mr. Wright, that loud noise you heard may be extremely important. So try to remember what it was. Was it a tree breaking, maybe? How do I put it? It was like a sharp crack. Could it have been... Yes? Could it have been? Hurry up and tell us. When I pushed him, he dropped the umbrella he was holding. Oh, that's how it broke, huh? What a flimsy umbrella. He fell right on top of it and it broke. Oh, that makes sense. That was probably the noise I heard. An umbrella, huh? And what did that umbrella umbrella belong to the victim? Yeah, it was a plastic umbrella. Cheap and frail, kind of like the owner. Wow! Then again, I wish I had any kind of umbrella. I was totally soaked to the bone. Miss Fey, what do you think? Is there something important in that testimony just now? Well... Would it be important? Hold on. Yeah, not only is the umbrella not underneath him, but he's laying on his face. If Phoenix shoved him backwards and he fell on his back onto the umbrella, how did his corpse end up laying face first? Yeah, I'd say this was important. This is it, Mia. The new information you've been waiting for. Of course it's important. No, this cheap umbrella is more than important. It's vital. I want to officially have it entered into the testimony.
Aha! How perfectly fitting. Flimsy information for a flimsy lawyer.
The court agrees to the defense's request. Witness, please add the bit about the cheap umbrella to your testimony. After I shoved him, he fell down on top of his cheap umbrella. So Mr. Swallow fell on top of his umbrella, and you are certain of this? Yeah, it was right there under him. Actually, if it hadn't been under him, I was planning on borrowing it for myself. The umbrella, you mean? Well, yeah, you see, I was wearing this sweater here. Dolly stayed up late for nights at a time knitting it for me. Oh god. You know what? I think I might have Dahlia Hawthorne figured. I think she is a very specific brand of yandere. I didn't want the rain to dampen the handmade symbol of her love. Oomph. My stomach is not to be used as your personal soccer ball, Mia. I'm so sorry. Continue on with your testimony, witness. Could you explain how he was laying there dead? At that time, did you see anyone else at the scene of the crime? Cough, cough, cough. Nope, nobody. Jeez, Could that stupid cough possibly sound any phonier? In that case, it's very hard to believe someone else could have been the murderer. Unless we can find something that shows his innocence from the testimony, my dear. I'm afraid the judge will make his final decision with no remorse whatsoever. Yes, sir. Now I need more info. Let me turn up some contradictions. Yeah, okay. After I shoved him, he fell down on top of his cheap umbrella. The crime scene photo says otherwise.
Objection!
Why didn't you testify about the umbrella from the very beginning? Come on. If I had mentioned that, I would have been able to counter the prosecution's arguments earlier.
What do you mean by that?
Take another look at the crime scene photo. According to Mr. Wright, the victim fell on top of his umbrella. However, if you look closely, the umbrella is nowhere near the victim. Actually, it's by the electrical pole. By the electrical pole? That must be a massive freaking umbrella. You're absolutely right. The conclusion here is obvious. After the defendant left, the victim moved from where he fell. In other words, after he was pushed by the defendant, Mr. Swallow was still alive.
No!
Order, order, order. The victim, he moved? Mr. Payne, the umbrella in this photo, where is it now?
Well, it was collected by the police at the crime scene.
I want it presented as evidence immediately. Owned by the victim, found broken near an electrical pole at the crime scene.
But the umbrella could have simply been blown there by the wind.
Objection!
According to the testimony, the victim fell on top of the umbrella. There's simply no way it could have been blown there by the wind. I know this matter of the umbrella seems relatively trivial, but as long as the smallest doubt remains, I cannot render a final judgment.
No!
He's so dramatic. I must say, I still find it hard to believe that a huge hole has been blown in the prosecution's case by the defendant's testimony. Phoenix's testimony. The victim fell on top of his umbrella. There was a loud sound when this happened. Well done, Mia. Mr. Payne, what are you chuckling about?
Pardon me, Your Honor. It seems I was expecting too much of a free ride. It was foolish to think I could establish guilt through cross-examination alone.
I'm afraid I don't follow what you're saying. Let me guess. You have another witness. I think I might know who that is. Oh, please.
Exactly. And this witness's testimony will be incontrovertible.
You made that word up. Well, who is this witness?
Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh! I was gonna suggest Larry Butts, but this is nice. Okay, let's meet Dahlia. Dahlia Hawthorne? You don't mean Dolly.
I do, Your Honor. The defendant's very own lover is a witness to the whole thing. That's right. She was at the scene of the crime when the murder took place.
What?
I'm sorry to break the bad news to you, my dear.
Bad news? You couldn't be more wrong. Actually, I've been waiting for this.
You can't be serious.
Mia, what do you mean by that? I think this is a good point for us to stop at. Court will now enter a 20-minute recess. Afterwards, we will listen to the testimony of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Maybe I should have just gone on to this point last time. April 11th, huh? Miss Fey, I'm sorry about what happened back there. It's alright. At least you told us the truth in the end, Mr. Wright. Yeah. So I guess I can start to relax then, huh? Relax, my boy. You can't be serious. After hiding such important facts. But the next witness is my dolly, right? She'll save me. I just know she will. I suddenly have doubts about that. Why do you think that? Huh? What do you mean? She's the love of my life, that's why. Oh, Phoenix, so young and naive. The love of your life, huh? Would you mind telling me more about you and Miss Dahlia Hawthorne? Sure, no problem. Dolly and we first met about 8 months ago, right here in this very courthouse. Really? Actually, I'm studying to be a lawyer on the side. Anyway, one day she and I just bumped into each other in the reading room downstairs. So what would Dahlia be doing there? Did she want to become a lawyer too? Or prosecutor even? And okay, you know this lady's bad to the core when she wears an umbrella like that indoors in a basement. What's wrong with her? That's why I really think it was fate that brought us together. Did she immediately give Phoenix a necklace or something? What's the story with that heart-shaped necklace with a bottle in it? As soon as I first set eyes on her, I knew she was the one for me. Oh, here, take a look at this. She gave this to me the day we met as a symbol of our love. Oh yeah, she's a yandere. Run, Phoenix, for the love of God, run! She had been wearing it around her neck that day, but then she took it off, but before she gave it to me, she said, I want you to carry this. So she gave it to you as a present, I see. This darling little bottle is filled with memories of my darling little dolly. It certainly is a little bottle, alright. Makes me so happy. I show it to everyone I meet. I want to share my happiness with the whole world. Okay. A small bottle necklace given to Wright on the day they met. He shows it to everyone. Anyway. So after that, you and Miss Hawthorne started dating. Yeah, but she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now. But what a strange girl, asking for a present back like that. By the way, Mr. Wright, the day you first met Dahlia Hawthorne 8 months ago, it wouldn't happen to have been on August 27th, would it? Don't tell me that was the DL6 incident. Uh-huh. Yeah, it was, but how did you... This happened on August 27th, right here in this courthouse. Oh, what's this? A newspaper clipping? Let's see. Murder in the courthouse? Murder? What are you reading there? Let me see that. Oh, I see. Mia, I think I understand what you're trying to say. And I think I understand why you suddenly took such a keen interest in this case. You believe there was some connection between these two cases. Am I correct? Okay, I wasn't gonna say anything, but I think Dahlia gave that necklace to Phoenix just because that necklace would have incriminated her to some degree and for some reason. And ever since, Dahlia's tried to get it back from him because, oh hey, Phoenix is going around town showing everyone he meets this critical piece of evidence that would implicate her. Okay, this all seems pretty obvious to me, but maybe a bit too obvious. Maybe there's something I'm missing here. Yo, can we read this? Very little information is being disclosed at this time since the victim of yesterday's incident in the district courthouse cafeteria is said to have been a lawyer. Oh. However, police are questioning the 19-year-old female college student who was sitting with the victim. Okay, this isn't the DL6 incident. It's completely unrelated to, like... Yeah, of course it would be. What the hell? The DL6 incident wasn't 8 months ago. It was years and years ago. Edgeworth and Phoenix were still little kids. What am I saying? I'm such an adult. But, yeah, wow, okay. Cafeteria. A lawyer died. I hope you don't mind, Mr. Grossberg. I need to finish this myself. Yes, but I'm afraid what you have will not be enough, my dear. I'll go and have a look at the downstairs reading room and see what else I can find. Thank you. I want to do whatever I can to be of help to you, Mia. Well, it looks like recess is about over. We'd better all get moving. I guess so. That recess sure seemed longer than 20 minutes, though. Okay. Fascinating, very fascinating. Ooh, new jingles. Nice. April 11th. 11, 12, 13, huh? They did that on purpose, didn't they? Court will now reconvene. Mr. Payne, please call your witness.
This next person is someone who witnessed the crime as it happened. The prosecution calls Miss Dahlia Hawthorne to the stand.
What's with the stiff silence? Stiff, you say? In my long career as a judge, I have been deceived by many witnesses. It's my job to doubt, to take no one at their word. But in your case, I must admit that you radiate a glow of complete sincerity.
I can't believe he actually said that. Oh, now then, witness, could you please state your full name?
Don't worry, sweetie. There's no need to be nervous.
If anyone says anything rude, you can be sure I'll cut them right down to size.
And I will bash them with my gavel.
I love how they look straight at me when they say that. Thank you for calming my nerves. You're all so nice. I almost feel right at home. Not at all.
It was nothing.
If we may move on now, what is your full name and occupation? My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I'm a junior in literature at Ivy University. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. The honor is all mine.
No, the honor is all mine.
Well, we know whose milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
Okay.
Sir? Is there something I can help you with?
You just go on and say whatever is on your mind.
I'm sure that there must be some kind of mistake. Feeny wouldn't kill anyone. I just know it.
Feeny? Feeny. Okay. Well, okay, at least Nick is a lot better. We have that going for us. Yes, yes. I can see why you'd say that.
She's going to be a tough witness, all right. It only took her 12 seconds to wrap them all around her little finger.
Now then, please proceed with your testimony. Let's hear about what you witnessed on the day of the incident, if you please. The scribbly lines in her eyes weird me out, dude.
I had been planning to go back to Feeny's place after class was over. Feeny and Dougie, they were talking behind the building. And suddenly, Dougie got all wobbly and just collapsed. That's when Feeny noticed that I was there. I went to go and find some other students, and they called the authorities.
I don't know what to say. According to you, Miss Hawthorne, the defendant didn't do anything wrong.
Young lady, as old as I am, even I recall how hot the flames of young passion can burn. Nevertheless, it is my job to discover the truth. Please, tell us the truth. But I would never. That's more than enough, witness. I can't allow this to continue.
What do you mean by that?
Please, just let me proceed with my cross-examination, Your Honor. I, for one, don't plan to win my case on a bunch of paper-thin lies. You haven't changed a bit.
What? Dahlia knows Mia?
Mia Fey.
What's this? So you two are acquainted?
Yes, we've met before. Once.
In any case, Miss Fey, the floor is all yours.
It's good to see you again, Madame Fey.
Yeah, Dahlia's putting a lot of emphasis on the Fey name, huh? Madame? Oh,
Madame? I'm no one's grandma yet, girlie.
okay.
I had been planning to go back to Feeny's place after class was over. Now, unless I'm mistaken, Feeny, I mean Mr. Wright, is in the art department. If that's the case, then what were you doing by the pharmacology building? Well, I'm in the literature department. I'm studying Japanese Senryu poetry.
Wow, that's actually something that doesn't feel Japanifornia-ified. Huh. Oh, wonderful. It's that humorous yet satirical style of haiku, yes? You don't know what an email is, but you know what Japanese Senryu poetry is? What's wrong with you, Judge?
Nothing left to do. When a man reaches this age, sleep is his best friend. That's supposed to be poetry? Sounds more like a midlife crisis. For me to get to the art department, I have to walk through that back area.
Oh, yes, I see. That makes sense. When I want to enter the courthouse, I always walk through the front doors.
How else would you enter? Teleportation? Feeny and Dougie, they were talking behind the building.
So who is this Dougie person?
Oh, I'm sorry. Doug Swallow? We were dating until about 8 months ago.
So what were Dougie,
Mr. Swallow and Mr. Wright talking about anyway? How can you be so mean? I would never eavesdrop. I wasn't raised to be so rude and unrefined.
That's right, Miss Fey.
Don't drag the witness down to your level.
Why am I being demonized here?
Please, go on. What did you see next?
And suddenly, Dougie got all wobbly and just collapsed.
Hold it!
Are you saying that the victim just collapsed on his own? Yes. In other words, the defendant never touched the victim. Is that right? I was watching the whole time. Feeney never did a thing to Dougie.
Don't we have the, weren't there fingerprints on Doug's jacket, though? But we don't have any evidence saying so.
I press it for no good reason. I just know the judge will get angry with me. So what should I do about her testimony just now?
Show contradiction? I just said I don't have I don't have any evidence that the fingerprints from earlier, it's not in my evidence. Damn it, I don't have anything.
I suppose her statement works in our favor for now. I'll hold off on looking into it any deeper until it's necessary.
Very well, young lady. Please go on with your testimony.
That's when Feeney noticed that I was there.
Hold it!
And what did Mr. Wright say when he saw you? I'm sorry. I was so flustered that I really don't remember. Please forgive me. You don't remember?
Well, that's common enough. Sometimes I can't recall a sentence I passed only minutes prior.
Please, anyone stop him before he gets hurt. By me. I went to go and find some other students, and they called the authorities. When you say students, do you mean students from the pharmacology department? Yes, they're all very fond of their drugs. Please try to stay on topic. So to find some pharmacology students, you went to the labs, correct? That's what I was planning to do, but in the end, I wound up not going. A group of about 10 research students came running out of the building entrance. Somehow they all seemed to know what was going on. The students knew what was going on?
Yeah, press that.
But how could the students have known what was going on? Well, I don't know for sure that they knew what had happened. It's just, they all seemed kind of excited about something. It doesn't look like I'm going to get any more info about the students. So, did the students call the police? Yes. I was so panicked.
Yes, well, anyone would have been, my dear.
That girl, she's telling a super obvious lie and she knows it. She's just pretending to protect Mr. Wright. Yes, that's got to be it. Way to go, Mia. Okay, that means I'm going to have to dig deep to find the contradiction on this one.
Alright, I guess we do have to press that. Let's show contradiction.
Feeble lies are not very becoming, Miss Hawthorne, so let's drop them, shall we? What? I would never...
Miss Fey, I will not allow you to badger this witness. I believe the defense is engaged in a fishing expedition. That is, she has no supporting... But please don't glare at me like that. I'm just doing my job.
Now then, Miss Hawthorne. The defendant's palm print was found on Mr. Swallow's leather jacket. It has already been shown that Mr. Wright did, in fact, push the victim.
What?
There's no need to try to cover for the defendant. It would be much better if you came out and told us the whole truth.
There's nothing to worry about, young lady. Just tell us everything that you saw.
Yes, Your Honor. I will. If you don't mind, I'd like to revise my testimony. Looks like we're finally getting somewhere. Actually, I didn't see that moment he pushed Dougie. You didn't see it? Well, I saw the moment when Dougie fell to the ground.
And at that time, there was only the two of them at the scene. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and the victim, Doug Swallow.
Yes, that's right.
It didn't...
Oh, I tried to do Payne's voice for some reason. It didn't look like they were fighting. I didn't hear anything unusual either. So then, what did it look like they were doing to you? I thought they were having a nice, friendly afternoon conversation. Oh, give me a break. That's why I really wasn't watching them all that closely.
Did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all?
No, nothing at all, Mr. Judge.
Oh, I like the sound of that, Mr. Judge. Now then, please proceed with your testimony.
Well, okay. You didn't hear anything unusual, you say? What about the loud snap?
Objection!
Yeah. You say you didn't hear anything unusual. Is that correct? Yes. That's why I was very relaxed, looking at the scenery around me. That's nice, but I find that just a little odd. I have here the testimony of your boyfriend, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And he clearly testified to the effect that when he pushed the victim, he heard a sharp, loud noise. He said that? If you were really that close to the two of them, why didn't you hear this noise as well?
Well, maybe the noise just wasn't all that memorable.
Objection!
But according to Mr. Wright's testimony, it was a sharp noise like a snap. There's no way a noise like that could fail to make an impression. May I have a moment to answer?
By all means.
I know the reason why I didn't hear the noise. You see, the truth is, I had my headphones on, and I was listening to music at the time. She is a very, very fast liar.
Headphones? You mean that both of your ears were covered?
The rain was just beginning to let up, but it seems as though Thor wasn't ready for his fun to come to an end yet. So the sky continued to flash and rumble. Thunder and lightning, huh?
Oh, golly, I wonder if lightning struck the thingamabobber.
Yes, I'm afraid of the sound of thunder. So I put my headphones on to block it out.
Well, Your Honor, as you can see, there weren't any contradictions in her testimony after all.
Wait a sec, Mia. That testimony just now. She said something that could totally change this whole case. There was lightning. Your Honor, there is a problem with the witness's testimony.
What do you mean?
Didn't you notice? She said there was lightning, correct?
Yes, what about it?
Well, lightning is actually a large discharge of electricity in the atmosphere, am I right?
Now's not the time for a science lesson, Miss Fey.
Yes, Your Honor. Anyway, since the cause of death was electrocution, isn't it possible that the victim died from being hit by a bolt of lightning?
Oh! I must admit that the thought had not occurred to me.
Just what kind of thoughts do occur to this guy anyway? This entire case is built on the premise that Mr. Dog Swallow was murdered. That very premise itself is mistaken. The defense believes that Mr. Swallow was, in fact, the victim of a stray bolt.
It appears the defense may be onto something. Could it be that the death was actually accidental?
God, that image flashed up and I thought, what the hell's Matt Onguard doing here? But no, that's just Doug. Yeesh. Alright, you did it, Mia. I'll be taking that not guilty.
I'm hurt that you have such low opinion of me, Miss Fey.
Huh?
I'm not a fool, you know. The prosecution has done its research, Your Honor. We found that there were no lightning strikes on that day of the location.
What?
What's more, we have evidence that the electric cable is definitely linked to this case.
Evidence, Mr. Ping. Well, what is this evidence?
This affidavit.
And who is this affidavit from?
The pharmacology students who were conducting experiments in their labs that day. Allow me to read out the testimony of the pharmacology students. All equipment is in the labs lost power all of a sudden at around 3 p.m. that day.
Was it a blackout?
All of the lab's equipment runs on high voltage, Your Honor.
So you're saying the equipment lost power because...
Precisely. They lost power because of the severed electrical cable. The power outage occurred at approximately 3 p.m.
Which fits with the time of death listed in the autopsy report.
Exactly. In other words, the victim died as a result of touching the severed electrical cable. According to the students, the cables were very old. They were planning on having them replaced in the near future.
I see.
Apparently, the cables had become so brittle that even the smallest bump might have caused them to break.
So, clearly, Phoenix did not intend for this to happen.
However, there is one thing that troubles me. If the cable could have been broken by any small bump, then it wouldn't have snapped if it hadn't been bumped into, correct?
Well, I suppose you could say that.
Miss Fey, do you have any thoughts regarding the cause of the severed cable?
Your Honor. I don't like how this is looking one bit. I have to come up with something to try to regain some momentum. If it pleases the court, the defense would like to state its opinion.
Well then, let's hear it. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break?
It would be Phoenix, right? He pushed Doug Swallow into the pole. Oh god, do I say Phoenix who pushed Doug Swallow, or do I say Doug Swallow who fell into the pole? Well, my health bar isn't flashing up, so I guess it won't matter if I get this wrong. Your Honor, please think back to Mr. Wright's testimony.
The defendant's testimony?
He said that after he pushed the victim, he heard a loud, sharp noise. Now, this happened at around 3 p.m., correct?
Yes, that sounds right. Wait, are you saying that?
The lab equipment lost power at 2:55 p.m., which fits right in Mr. Wright's timeline. In other words, it was Mr. Wright's shove that caused the power outage.
Yes, the prosecution also came to that same conclusion. And it was that very shove that caused Mr. Swallow to be electrocuted.
I'm afraid I can't agree with you there, Mr. Payne.
What's that supposed to mean?
Take a good look at where the victim landed after being shoved. See the umbrella? It's by the electrical pole. That's right. The victim banged into that pole as a result of being pushed. It was that impact that caused the cable to break.
Well, that makes sense. And then the victim was electrocuted.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but no. It doesn't make sense at all. If the victim was shoved into the far pole, then he couldn't have been electrocuted by the severed cable in the foreground here.
Yeah!
In other words, someone other than my client must have electrocuted the victim.
Order in the court.
Ah, the lamentations of my enemy. How I've longed to hear them. Mia, what is best in life?
To destroy my enemies, to hear the lamentations of their women, to see them driven before you.
So it went something like that, right?
It's true. The defense is absolutely correct. There doesn't seem to be any way the defendant could have...
Mr. Judge, sir? May I say something? The Madame Attorney's explanation? She said some things that are a little different than I remember them.
What the...
Please, just once more. May I please testify one last time? Please, Mr. Judge?
Of course it's alright. Just go right ahead and give your new testimony.
This is it. She's finally starting to show her true colors.
What I witnessed part 2.
Okay. The truth is, Feeney pushed him twice. The first time was into the electrical pole. That's when the cable broke. Then Dougie tried his best to run away from him. But Feeney caught up and crashed into him from behind. The cable snapping and Dougie being electrocuted, it all occurred in less than a minute.
The victim's watch stopped 5 minutes after the first push. Nice try. Nice try. So, after being shoved, the victim got up and tried to run away.
And that is when the defendant pushed him for the second time.
I'm so sorry, Feeney, but I just have to tell the truth. Am I doing the right thing? Am I, Mr. Judge?
Of course you are, my dear. As painful as it may seem, you are. Now then, Miss Fey, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
So much for Dolly protecting you, Phoenix, huh? The truth is, Feeney pushed him twice.
Hold on, I think we should just skip ahead.
But Feeney caught up and crashed into him from behind. The cable snapping and Dougie being electrocuted all occurred in less than a minute. Did you actually witness the moment the victim was electrocuted? I'm sorry. I didn't actually see it. I turned my eyes away.
That's understandable.
Yes, indeed. It would have been a horrific sight for anyone to behold.
I don't figure out the contradiction here. It's a lover. She didn't have much time to come up with her lies, so this is my best chance. There must be a hole in her testimony somewhere. Think, Mia. Yeah, okay, just in case, let's press everything then. Miss Hawthorne, previously in your testimony, you said the following. Actually, I didn't see the moment he pushed Dougie. I know. I'm sorry. I wanted to protect Feeny. So that's why you basically lied to the court. I was a bad girl. I know. Mr. Judge?
Yes?
Would you please forgive little old me? Of course he won't. What do you think is called
Oh, come now. It was just a little old white lie. We'll forget it this time, but please be more careful from now on, alright?
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Judge.
Not at all. Ho, ho, ho.
The judge had better be more careful himself. Dark Alley is friendlier than that girl. The first time was into the electrical pole. That's when the cable broke. You're saying you actually saw the victim get pushed into the electrical pole? I know he doesn't look it, but Feeny can be a bit of an imp when he wants to be. Oh, really? I never imagined that he would cause an electrical cable to break. Feeny really is scary when he gets mad.
Yes, he sounds like a very dangerous individual indeed.
Wow. Then Dougie tried his best to run away from him. So let me get this straight. You were happily listening to music on your headphones while you watched the scene unfold. What?
Miss Fey, I'll have to ask you to stop badgering the witness.
I wasn't happy. I was so scared that I couldn't even move. All I could do was stand there and cheer them on. Cheer them on? What do you mean by that? Well, I wished the best for them both, and that they would each give the fight their all.
That's very sweet of you to be so supportive.
And what happened after that?
But Feeny caught up and crashed into him from behind. That doesn't sound quite right. There were handprints found on the chest of the victim's leather jacket. Mr. Payne, were there also prints found on the back of his leather jacket?
No, there weren't.
Madam Fey, may I suggest that you listen a little more carefully? I said that he crashed into him from behind, right? My Feeny wouldn't leave any prints behind in that case, would he? The cable snapping? Dougie being electrocuted all occurred in less than a minute.
Nope. The victim's watch stopped at the time of death. And, the old power cable broke due to some sort of impact on April 9th at 2:55. So it broke at 2:55, and then the guy died at 3 o'clock on the dot. Now, I hope either would work. Oh, thank God, it worked. What am I saying, oh thank God, for? I haven't taken a single penalty yet.
That's enough, witness. I'm afraid I don't understand. You will in a minute. Could you please take a look at this picture? Oh, that medicine. That's the one Feeny likes to take for his cold. It's not the medicine I want you to look at. It's the wristwatch. It stopped at the precise time the victim was electrocuted. In other words, 3:05 p.m.
Oh, right. Okay. In my defense,
Their watch was upside down. That's always been tricky for me to read, okay?
Yes, and your point is, Miss Fey?
My point is this. What time was it when the lab suffered that power outage due to the cable snapping?
Well, according to the student's testimony, the answer is clear. It was 2:55 p.m. Yag!
Would you care to explain to the court, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne, what exactly happened during this 10-minute interval? The defense proposes that it was during this interval that the real murderer killed Mr. Doug Swallow.
Order in the court.
This is nonsense. The real murderer?
Even you can't deny that the time between the cable breaking and the electrocution are completely unaccounted for.
Then who was it? Who else are you saying could have done it?
There's only one person who could have murdered Mr. Swallow. Only after my client had left the scene was there a window opportunity for the real killer.
Miss Fey, is the defense ready to indict someone as this real killer?
It's finally time. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Yes, Your Honor, we are ready.
Very well, but remember, if you accuse the wrong person, you will be penalized. Think very carefully before you speak, Miss Fey. Now then, Miss Fey, let's have it. Who is the real killer?
Little Miss Yandere here is not quite a fan of her ex going and blabbing about her true nature. It could only have been you, Dahlia Hawthorne.
What?
How can you?
The defense is grasping at straws.
10 minutes passed between the time the cable broke and the time of the electrocution. What exactly were you doing that whole time, Miss Hawthorne? Were you really listening to some music while cheering them both on as they fought? I find it hard to believe that you didn't lift a finger to stop the men dearest to you.
Order! Order! Miss Fey! What? I mean, why? That is to say...
Miss Hawthorne, I believe you did witness the two men fighting on that day. However, after Mr. Wright pushed the victim and subsequently left the scene, it was you who pushed Mr. Swallow to his death by your very own hands.
Ah!
How can you say something so mean, Madam Fey? I didn't do anything.
Miss Fey, this is a very serious...
Your Honor, please, I have something I want to say.
Achoo!
You? What is it?
Please strike everything the defense said just now from the record. Oh, wow. Even after Dahlia said all those things about him, Phoenix wants to protect the love of his life. Oh, Phoenix, you fool. What the? Are you daft? You're totally wrong, Miss Fey. Dolly, she couldn't do something like that.
Mr. Wright, get back in your seat. Bailiff, grab that man.
Yah! Achoo! Achoo!
Leave my Dolly alone. Achoo! Cough, cough. That boy. Oh, that was Grossberg. I thought that might have been Dahlia, but
he's gotten himself way over his head.
Oh, Mr. Grossberg, you're back.
It seems I've arrived just in the nick of time. I found the police report on that incident in your newspaper clipping.
Report on the incident 8 months ago. Thank you so much. This is exactly what I was hoping for.
Let's take a look.
Okay, date time, 4 p.m. on August 27th. Victim, Diego Armando. Occupation, lawyer. Suspect, Dahlia Hawthorne. Armando ingested Gee! I wonder what container kept that poison. Okay. Armando ingested poison while interviewing the suspect regarding another case. Traces of poison were found in the victim's coffee cup. No poison was found in the vicinity or on the suspect's person. It is unclear how the poison entered the victim's coffee cup. All right. Well, I think this is all blindingly obvious. I know this is just the first case of this game. We're in tutorial land, but still. Wow, okay. You'd better take a good look at it. It details how you came to lose your boyfriend. Oh, shit. Damn! This game is introducing some trauma. Holy shit! Diego Armando, huh? A lawyer. Damn. Now then, the defense has made a very serious accusation. Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this?
Well, really, Your Honor, I... May I interrupt you for just a moment, Mr. Prosecutor? Don't you worry, my dear. I have this situation well in hand. Sniffle? That is, go right ahead. Madam Fey, are you seriously accusing me of killing my sweet Dougie?
Yes, I am. Not only am I saying you murdered Doug Swallow, but you also tried to pin the whole thing on your current lover, Phoenix Wright.
I told you that you should let me handle this.
Weep.
Sorry. Please go ahead.
How can you say that? I am absolutely devoted to my dear Feeny. The notion that I would try to frame him is ludicrous.
You tried to frame him before, you witch!
This is all just too much for poor little me to bear.
I believe the girl is trying to ask what on earth her motive would be.
The answer to that lies somewhere in this police report. It must. 8 months ago, an incident occurred at the basement cafeteria of this building. And then, that same day, the two of them accidentally meet. Your Honor, the defense requests further testimony from Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Further testimony? About what?
About the events of the day when she first met the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What could that possibly have to do with this case?
Objection!
The witness claims that she has no reason to frame the defendant. Am I correct? Well, I have evidence that suggests that she, in fact, has a very good reason.
Very well then. The court grants the defense's request. Young lady, would you mind staying on for just a bit longer?
Of course not, Mr. Judge. Get ready for the battle of your life, Dahlia Hawthorne.
All right. How I Met My Feeny. Okay, I think I need to cut this off here because we're an hour in, but holy crap. Okay. Boy, this game is coming out of the gate swinging, right? I've long held the opinion that I think this series is at its best when it's directly dealing with the lives of the main cast. And I will admit that some might consider it stretching to just add on new facets of the characters' lives, like Mia's old boyfriend and Phoenix's old girlfriend, but I am willing to give it a slide because it's totally plausible that could happen. Like, there are some very wide gaps in knowledge we have about the lives of these characters. So, yeah, apparently, I think the truth of the scenario is clear to see. Dahlia Hawthorne poisoned Mia Fey's boyfriend, Diego Armando, and then gave the poison vial necklace to Phoenix. And then she tried to kill Doug Swallow, who had an inkling of Dahlia's true being. And it would kill two birds with one stone. If she could pin Phoenix for the murder, then Phoenix would be locked away and would no longer be able to show that poison vial to everyone he met. What a conniving little girl. Well, because we know exactly what happened, I think it'll be very easy to prove everything. It's just a matter of fighting our way to there. So, yeah, this is pretty exciting. Oh man. Alright, well, my name is Zephyr the Jester. This has been Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations. I thank you for watching, and hopefully I will catch you next time when we finish out this case and put Dahlia in the slammer. Until then, please take care.